The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Jago Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. The death toll in Libya's coastal city of Derna climbs to 11,300 as search efforts continue following a massive flooding. The Libyan Red Crescent told the Associated Press that some 10,000 people are also reported missing in the Mediterranean city. The flooding swept away entire families in Derna on Sunday night and exposed vulnerabilities in the oil-rich country that has been under conflict since the 2011 uprising that toppled long-ruling dictator Muammar Gaddafi. Rescue teams have since arrived from Egypt, Tunisia, the United Arab Emirates, Turkey, and Qatar, while Libya's ambassador to the United Nations said that rescue efforts are being intensified.
All efforts are put now for rescue teams to try to be able to manage this disaster, but it's really challenging. We were not used to this incident.
Morocco's King Mohammed VI holds a cabinet meeting to discuss reconstruction following the deadly earthquake last week. According to officials in the capital city of Rabat, some 50,000 houses were known to have been damaged by the quake. The royal palace said it would provide shelter and 30,000 dirhams to affected households and pledged to offer reconstruction aid of 140,000 dirhams for collapsed homes and 80,000 dirhams for damaged ones. A 6.8 magnitude tremor that struck the high Atlas Mountains late on September 8 killed nearly 3,000 people and injured over 5,000. The recent quake was Morocco's deadliest since 1960 and the most powerful since around 1900. A luxury cruise ship that had been run aground in Greenland was pulled free by a fishing trawler. The Ocean Explorer cruise vessel, which has 206 people on board, had been stuck in mud for 4 days. The vessel listed during the operation and passengers were not allowed to go outside. The Ocean Explorer will be taken to a port to assess any damage. On the other hand, the owner of the cruise said passengers will be flown home. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro. U.S. President Joe Biden and his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky are expected to meet next week. An official speaking on condition of anonymity said Zelensky will meet with Biden at the White House on Thursday. Zelensky's trip to Capitol Hill was also confirmed by two congressional aides granted anonymity to discuss the plans. This comes as U.S. Congress debates Biden's request for $21 billion in aid for Ukraine amid the Russian invasion. U.S. President Joe Biden's son Hunter has been indicted on federal gun charges. Hunter was charged with 3 counts of making false statements on a federal firearms form. In 2018, he swore that he was not using and was not addicted to any illegal drugs when buying a revolver, even though he was struggling with crack cocaine addiction at the time of the purchase. The indictment marks the first time the child of a sitting U.S. president has been criminally prosecuted. NASA names a new director of research into unidentified anomalous phenomenon, or UAP, better known as UFOs. NASA's Administrator Bill Nelson made the announcement after a panel of experts called for an increase in efforts to gather information on UAPs. Nelson also disclosed that the experts found no evidence of an extraterrestrial or origin for UAPs. Speaking on a personal note, though, Nelson shared that he believes that life exists beyond Earth. However, he said chances of otherworldly beings having visited Earth are low. Recall that 2 supposedly non-human bodies were presented at a Congress hearing on UFOs in Mexico earlier this week.
In June of last year, NASA commissioned an independent study team to examine unidentified anomalous phenomena. We did so with a few goals in mind. First, to examine how NASA can use our expertise and instruments to study UAP from a scientific perspective. Second, shift the conversation about UAP from sensationalism to science. The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. But we don't know what these UAP are.
And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.